Hello folks, Reverend Crystal Cox here, and I just want to chat with you again about letting other people's reactions, actions, responses, thoughts about your life, basically letting anything that other people do affect your life. It kind of reminds me of the Serenity Prayer, what you let go of what you can't control, and praying to have the strength to let go of what you can't control. We have a need to be understood. It's a deep, insatiable need to be understood. And when you lose people in your life, whether it be kids, a spouse, a relationship, grandkids, especially if it's a misunderstanding. So it's one thing if you do something and they're like, hey, screw you because this is how you believe or this is how you are and I'm not going to be in your life anymore. But when they get it wrong and it's not really who you are, who you know yourself to be, it leaves people with an aching need, and it really torments them, and they go over it and over it in their mind. They try to change it. They just are desperate for validation to be understood. So like, for example, if you, this is a complete exaggeration, but if you like to dye your hair green, or you're very much into your certain spiritual belief, or a certain diet, or something that's really based in your belief system, and someone in your life has said to you, I can't be in your life because of that, or there's some honest thing that feels, it's still going to hurt a lot, and you still have trouble getting over it. However, when you lose people due to a reason that you cannot comprehend, understand, or rationalize, it leaves you feeling desperate and alone, and your focus is on that. I've counseled people spiritually over the years, and myself have dealt with the issue of how do we go about our daily lives and not be affected by what someone we love does, what they think of us, whether they get it wrong or not, whether they want to talk to us or not. If we send them something and they don't react a certain way, we feel like, well, we're not loved and they don't like us, or instead of like their life is just busy and it's not about us, even if we rationally know that it's not about us, our heart still feels attacked. And too, based on our own childhood or issues of abandonment, we lament over it, and we do feel attacked and abandoned and pain, and we just cry, and we just feel this desperation, and sometimes there's anger, and the only thing to do is really to give it to God, to give it to Goddess, to pray for signs and pray for clarity. If this person or situation is meant to be in your life, then to show you the way to have this person in your life. If this person's not meant to be in your life, then please, Great Spirit, show me the way to let them go, or to not have this feeling come up every day. And I've discussed in other videos that about the spiritual belief of the white dragon or the black dragon, or in shamanism, Native American stuff, it's the white wolf or the black wolf, and the one that we feed is the one that gets stronger. Now our thoughts feed what we're thinking in our mind creates one belief system or the other. So if you can stop yourself from thinking about a certain thing, you actually stop the emotion that's related to it. And there's things that are going to keep triggering us over and over until we can master this. So it comes up, you get your feelings hurt, you might feel really weird and attacked, and you go, oh, I remember this. So instead of thinking about it, going over it and over it and over it, you just sit down and you pray. I use the Raymond Grace techniques too, with the pendulum, to remove non-beneficial energy and negative energy. So if you're not familiar with that, you can Google Raymond Grace, Crystal Cox, and I have some playlists, or just Google Raymond Grace, R-A-M-O-N Grace. And he's an older guy. He's a dowser, and it's about neutralizing the attack you just felt. So you can neutralize the energy and try to move through and control your thoughts. Because sometimes something will kind of blindside you and you'll just get really hurt and you'll feel attacked. And when you really love somebody and care about them and miss them in your life, feelings of jealousy, feelings of not getting to be in their life, feelings of, whether it be your kids, like I said, or an ex-lover, someone you're in love with or feel like you're in love with, or siblings, parents, whoever it is that you feel desperately misunderstood by. It's about what we think about it. So our thoughts can actually disable us, affecting our job, affecting our health, our creativity, our actual life force. And so we have to learn how to control our own thoughts. And sometimes this stuff just comes up automatically. So it's a lifetime task for me and for a lot of people that I've spiritually counseled, because we long to be loved, we long to be understood. And so the key is to change your thoughts as rapidly as you can. Remove negative energy. Keep moving through. Pray. Give it to God, to Goddess. Cut the cords. Ask your guides and angels to give you more clarity and more signs, and each time you'll get better. And don't beat yourself up. Don't be negative to your own self in your mind either, because you're feeding that as well. So I just want to tell you that this is something I've seen in my own life and in those that I spiritually advise, and it's a really big deal, because you end up spending so much of your life lamenting and going over and over in your mind of someone that may not want to be with you anymore. And if you're truly like soulmates and meant to be together, then okay, you will be. Trust in that and give it to Spirit and say, if I'm meant to be with this person, please show me. If I'm not meant to be, please show me the way out. And don't focus on what that person thinks of you, what you could have said, what you could have did, missing them, wanting to have that interaction again over and over. And like I said, this could be, fathers, mothers, grandkids, siblings, lovers, friends. This could really be anybody in your life, and it can also be people that have crossed over. When people die, a lot of times you feel that too, and you really have to take it to God. There's just no way that you can talk to them, and sometimes really you have to kind of treat the living that way, because you don't want to call them and keep being obsessed over it and over in your mind and try to change what happened. You just have to keep giving it to God and moving through and keeping praying. And I get this over and over every day with all different sorts of relationships. And I think, it's a huge human lesson here. It's a huge task to learn how to control our own mind. Whatever our mind is focused on, whatever we feed, that's what creates the emotion. And it just really consumes your life. So Goddess bless you folks out there. This is Reverend Crystal Cox from Bringing Back Goddess Church, and good luck with controlling your own mind. Brighty little child. All right, bye-bye.